Hiyo ni ngoma ya wetu wale. Ati chongana swele zinduzwa. Yantawende mama wetu ngena bandugu saba. Yantawende mama wetu ngena bandugu batama. Yantawuni ngena titi kaludo. Yantawuni ngena titi kaludo. Thank you. That's the power of art. Sindio? It's not just talks. It's coming here showcasing your talent. What do you know about climate change? And how can you calibrate the message to art to address people, right? Sini sawa? Now, kuna wazee wametulia. We want to involve you in the Lingala. It's secular time, academics, climate change. Now, before that, I'm told there's someone who does spoken art. Cassie Isaacs. Round of applause to Cassie Isaacs as he comes to stage. Thank you. I've heard of Cassie. Is Cassie Isaacs, right? He's a good poet. Let's listen what he has for climate change. I know it's word that will make you feel like crying, goosebumps, but let's listen to Cassie Isaacs. So Cassie Isaacs, the mic to you.
Saseni, mko fiti? Ya venye umesikia naitwa Kaasi, I'm a poet, a spoken word artist, an actor, a thespian, hizo zote, lakini for today, na not just for today but even after hapa, I'm a huge fan for climate change, climate action, and a fan of the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay. I feel a lot of things about this society cannot be said. And this causes a constant battle of voices inside my head. But see, one of the voices is urging me to address these things through poetry instead. But I feel the urge to scream. To see if this is just a nasty dream, or if it's a craving for ice cream. Juu kumewaka. Na sijapika lakini sijua inanipika well. Inanichoma. See, nataka kuwakumbusha of the good old days. Those days tuko watoto wadogo. Tulikuwa tunakimbiza butterflies. Lakini sasa hii butterflies iko tu nikiingia exam room na nikikimbiza manzi mrembo ako na nectar tu ya butterfly. Juu butterflies iko tu hapo kwa tattoo. Zimeisha. Nakumbuka the sweet old days nikiwa kijana mdogo, tulikuwa tunakimbizana kwa rivers and streams. Lakini sasa hii streams iko tu Spotify. Rivers ni gia gari zenye zina lead in pollution juu ya kuproduce lead products. Sinakumbuka the sweet old days hata Nyashinski akaingia studio akatuimbia ati I feel you in my air when I breathe. Lakini sasa hiyo kinusa unasikia takataka baada ya mwenye unataka. The sweet old days. Those sweet days si kama saa hii nasikia tena binadamu wako kwa vita na wild animals. Funny that poachers ndo wanawin lakini wanyama si ndo wako na vifaru. Nasikia ati binadamu wameenda wamechoma forest, lakini sio kiberiti ni rhino kubwa. Lakini sisi tulijikosea. Ati tulianza kukata miti tujenge nyumba na viti, lakini so far haijakuwa fiti. Sisi ndo tulianza kukata miti ati tuchome kuni tupate makaa, lakini sasa hivi yenye jua inatuchoma si tunakaa makaa. Ni sisi tulijikosea. You see, tulianza kukata miti ati tujenge boma, tukasahau tukabomoa boma ya Mother Nature. Lakini sasa hii daughters and sons, the sun rays, lakini hatutaweza kuraise our kids if we continue doing whatever we are doing. See, lakini I will tell you one thing. Sustainable Development Goal number 13, climate action. Lakini 13 reasons why tuko na climate change can be changed by you and me, tukiungana tuweze kufuatilia chenye tumeambiwa leo bila kupingana. Lakini si chenye kinanitia angani na duniani tunachafua bila kubagua. Mazingira hatukagui. Ati sisi ndo wenye tunasema we need a better future. Naweza kuambia hivi, utangangana upate hiyo Audi, lakini kama utakia for the climate, hatutaenda far. Well, wakikuuliza who was that, mwambie mimi naitwa Kasi Isaacs, wananiita Sultan Jedom Bega, more toxic than keg, na the only way kuni describe you say heterogeneous conglomeration of absurdity, calculate to bamboozle anatomy of an individual, false intoxicated with my abominable and irresistible powers. Kasi Isaacs, Sultan.
Hey. Thank you. Yes.
It's the kids, baby.
Nimesikia kifaru, kiberiti na watu wa makaa. Wajaluo, bwana huyu jamaa, na mmetulia tu huko nyuma amzuri. Mbona nimeona mkifanya hivi, mumekubali nyinyi makaa. It's all right. Okay, we want to jump into the next keynote speaker, but before that, there's a group called Clan Dancers. I had tasked them to form a dance that relates to climate change. I don't know if they did understand the assignment. I don't know how will you show us climate and how will you hype the group. All right, let's give applause to Clan Dancers. Clan Dancers. Clan Dancers, we don't have time. Get ready. On stage is Clan Dancers. I think they have a dance for climate change and climate mitigation and action. Hope you have that dance. Oh, and perhaps I did forget to introduce our photographer. He's called Ombachi. You can make local agreements with him to take photos of the session of you. Sinisawa, local agreements. It's called Ombachi. All right, the floor is yours.
DJ. Kama unaniona mkono moja juu hivi. Watu wa nyuma hivi.
Wajaluo.
Shusha hapa. Sasa fanya hivi, ukiinua. Uamke nayo, like niko hapa. Fanya hivi, ukiinua. Ukuja hadi juu. Usimame nayo juu. DJ twende. Tuanze hapa chini. Hapa.
Wapi hapo?
Hapa chini. Hapa.
Come on.
Kama umekaa
Atuko hapo.
hapa chini unaamka nayo. Kaa wave. In short, kila mtu aamke juu. Kila mtu aamke juu.
Wacha niende kwa
DJ. Pull. Kila mtu hapa. Haya, chini. Tena juu. Chini. Tena juu. DJ nipe ngoma.
Jack,
ilibidi niokoke ndo niwashe jiko. Siko kwa kanaliti juu niko rito. Ulinipa dori sati zito. Mizani bado kalina mizani zito. Mizani zito. A-E-O-U. Kati tingi za kanina cha impromptu. Fingers in the sky. Nigga puncha gumi to the side. Sio kupo decide. Tusikwende tukislide. We can boogie through the night. I do it I'm alive. 2 fingers in the sky. Puncha gumi to the sky. Sio kupo decide. Tusikwende tukislide.
nikimwona nitasimama, wanipa nguvu kama Samson, na niko na uwezo ka Solomon. Nina dance kama David, na niko na imani ka Abraham. Shetani amejaa mimi niko na Yesu, hawezi nitisha mimi niko na Mungu. Shetani amejaa mimi niko na Yesu, hawezi nitisha mimi niko na nguvu, niko na
huyu Yesu number 1 na nikatoa basi ndio
Johnny was show when you see me show I'm top of back on
Nakula neno.
Thank you. Mimi siko na njaa. Thank you. Asante. Asante. DJ Kata maneno. Hey, vibele. Nani akona fo? Thank you. Hawa si watu wa Yesu. Wamesema ni ile mrengo ingine, but it's okay. Now, I'm told that there is a university in house called Moi University. You know, we regard ourselves, Egerton University, as the only and the university. I think Moi wants to compete us. Where is Moi? Moi University. Come on, you're welcome on stage. Kujeni. I'm told you have something to present. Sindio, let's give them a stage. Let's see what Moi has. Of course, they're coming. DJ. Well, too bad. We had set a PowerPoint for keynote speaker. I'm sorry for that. Maybe after him, utaingia. All right. Maybe Chuka University. I'm told you in the house. Chuka. Come on. Ataka mukona president. It's your time to shine. Secretary General. It's your time to shine. Chuka. come say a few words. Thank you, DJ. Thank you. Just a brief word. Who are you? Chuka University, of course. Who are you? Where are you from? What talent do you bear? Are you a leader? Are you not a leader? Sinisa.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Timothy Kipkoech Kimayo. I'm a student, I'm a third year student at Chuka University. I'm a leader of very different clubs, including geography and Kiswahili clubs and more other clubs within my university. I'm a politician. Specifically, I'm a politician. I like politics, and I think it is not part of the agenda of the day. I have my good members from our university, and we are happy to meet you. Thank you, guys. We'll still mingle outside there.
He's a politician. He reminds me of my great friend, Chief. He's also a politician. Okay, let's have our keynote speaker from the county. Let me read his biography, please. Mr. Anthony Kimau has done Bachelor's of Science in Community Development, Environmental and Sustainability, Climate Change Expert, Key Technical Person in the Climate Change Unit in Nakuru County, Liaison Office, Renewable Energy Change. Renewable Energy. Currently in the process of implementing Nakuru Climate Change Act. Welcome, Mr. Anthony Kamau. A round of applause to Mr. Kamau. Well, can you see the slides? Can you see the slides? Good, you can proceed, Mr. Kamau.
Okay, thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good afternoon. Mko poa. This is very energizing to be part of this platform, a very humbling platform, where people are drawn together and united by just one discussion, that is climate change. Sometimes these discussions will be seen as if they are discussions just to pass time. Yeah, we've been there. They will be seen as discussions that, are just to make sure that we are busy somewhere. But I can assure you this afternoon that these discussions are key to everything that we do, every decision we make, every endeavor we plan, every decision even the politicians are working on. These discussions are quite important. I have been here when we had the panelists here, and I happened to capture a few things, which some of them will be addressed in this very short PowerPoint, which will take us maybe close to 5 or 6 p.m. this evening, or earlier, because nimeanza kuona mnaniangalia vibaya. And then we are going to have a consensus together and see where are we and where we are headed, because we have to draw, we have to walk in this journey together. I want to begin by saying that I'm here on behalf of my CEC, that is Dr. Mara, who was very much prepared to be with us. Actually, he was on his way to this place. And then some auditing team, some national government team arrived at our offices, and he had just to deal with issues that were quite urgent. I want to bring his greetings, the greetings of our chief officer, anaitwa Ken Mungai, the greetings of our director, anaitwa Grace Karanja. I am Anthony Kamau. I work in the Department of Environment. It's a whole portfolio: environment, energy, natural resources, and climate change. Specifically, I work in the climate change unit. Na sasa ndio tunaanza kazi. When you see or when you hear about county governments, remember the one we created 2012 through the Act, then became operational some few months after that, and then the journey ahead had to be forged. Where are we coming from? Where are we going to? And how can we achieve everything that we're going to do? So on behalf of our CC, I'll take the shortest or longest time possible to do some few highlights on what we are doing as a county. Maybe some of you will be wowed by what we are doing. Others will be, hiyo tulijua tu. And others will be, I want to know more about what these people are doing. And therefore, I'm welcoming you to this presentation and see what literally we have to the areas that we have to collaborate on. When you're talking about climate change, remember the discussions on the panelists who are here. One of the key things that was very evident is that information on what is climate change and what needs to be done might not be clear. Therefore, for us to understand, we have to come from a point of kujiitikia sisi wenyewe ya kwamba hatujui. Then start forging the way forward to the point of how, what do we need to do, when, and all those aspects that will help us to come up with realistic goals, outcomes, and what have you. So when we talk about climate change through lens, we want to understand what is it that we are talking about. So I'm not going into so much of the literature. I'm sure this we have interacted with in our lecture halls, in our libraries, na wenye hatupendi kusoma juu pia wako, lakini hawako kwa hii hall ndio naambiwa, elsewhere through bloggers or any other avenues. They are them that are key actors in matters climate change. That is the who. And then there is the how. These are where the gears meet, the concepts that have been drawn. Remember, in the universities, we can only teach the concepts. But when we come into the implementation, that is beyond the learning institution, beyond the research institutions. And then finally, when. Now, when we talk about when, this should be as soon as possible. If we can have a solution right now, implement it right now, then by all means we take it right now. So I won't go into all these details. I'm sure we all know about climate change. We know the specific issues that we feel some of the maybe, what do you call them, signs. Others will use them as measures to relay their information. Others will use them to demonstrate that climate change is real. But these are only small components, as you can see, that can explain this. Remember, climate change goes beyond, and I want to challenge the panelists who are here, because much that I took from their discussions were, when it comes to climate change, and this is the conception even in the community, it's all about planting trees, growing trees. So there is a higher level of discussion that needs to be achieved for us to know exactly where we want to go. So I want to go to, not to this slide, but to the next slide, that really focuses on the issues that we need to keep thinking about. And when I get to that slide, one of the key things I want us to grasp is the county government can only provide or show direction of where to go. Then it will be supported by the research and academia on how to get there. Then the county government is going to collaborate with other partners and see how do we get what the academia and research institutions are encouraging us to do. That is why I began by saying that such discussions in such forums are quite important. Some people have been arguing that when we have all this COP28, COP20 what, and all those discussions, it's just a way of maybe wasting time, wasting resources. But it is at those discussion areas that we find an opportunity for us to grasp the innovations and creativity that comes from the community, from the students, and from all actors that is that leads to everything that drives the anticipated outcomes. So I want us to discuss about the commitments, not the commitment. Commitment is part of the step. The steps that our society, and when we talk about our society, I want to narrow down now to the community. When I talk about the community, just know if you are a member of RUA, the RUA community. If you are a student, the student community. If you are a politician like my brother here, the political community. What are the steps that we can, consider? Number one is commitment. Everything you do has to begin with commitment. Anything that you venture to do, even in our studies, if we want to succeed, we have to be committed. Huyu kiongozi mnamuona hapa, huyu na atakuwa kama dende njono. Before he gets to that level, he has to show the commitment for him to get to that desired level. So that commitment is what drives, actually it's the intrinsic value that drives us to where we want to get to. The other one is participation. I think this has been mentioned in the SDGs, so allow me not to circle or dwell much into that. Let me go to this point here. Number 3, the healthy habits. These are habits that, define how you wake up, how you prepare yourself for whatever activity is there for you. Some other people will prepare for a date more than they could prepare for an exam. They are right here. Ni venye tu siwezi waonyesha because some of them are in the front row. Others will have habits that, the eating habits that are more healthier if you look at them from one point of perspective. And others will say, mwili mpya tutapewa wapi? Wako hapa. By the way, we are not talking about people wenye hawako huko. This is, I think, your answer nimepata hapa. Nimesikia ni university gani kwa hapa? Hao ndio watapewa mwili mpya bingoni. So you can see all these perspectives that we have. So the healthy habits, in the next slide, you'll see where all those healthy habits have to really fall into. Then number 4, I think I might not focus much on this. Environmental awareness. What we are doing right here is part of, it's a component of environmental awareness. I'm rushing because I want to get to a specific slide, which I think will interest you so much. Then finally, efficiency and innovation. Now, let me talk about this point for a moment. When we have a representative, Garana Yakwa, Mr. Kamau here, he tells us he's from Arua. And then we are seated here. Now I'm challenging the panelists who are here. Akina Stella, Akina Derek, Akwapi, the smart guy here. When we talk about that they don't know about climate change, tumeuma nje. They know about the climate change. It's only that the terms climate change, ukitumia, kwao ni different. And I want to introduce to you a component, you might have heard of it, about the indigenous knowledge. Hawa watu si wajinga. Hawa watu wako na ujuzi. It's only that we have not bridged the gap between the scientific knowledge and the indigenous knowledge. Kumbuka huyu mzee ako na maarifa ya Njoro River ilikuwa aje hizo enzi. Those days that your mother maybe didn't know you be in existence. That person will have the history of that point. Na atakwambia, hapa mto ilikuwa inafika hapa, ilikuwa inakaa hivi. This is what has changed throughout the years. Na ukimuuliza, why do you think this has happened? Atakwambia, ni juu fulani alilima shamba kama inakaa hivi. All those details ako nazo. And they know exactly what has happened. What they might not know is the solutions to come out from that problem. That is where we come in. So the indigenous knowledge plus the scientific knowledge, which I support you, my sister, despite being a Christian, there is the component of science that brings solutions to our daily problems that we face. So where is the scientific knowledge marrying with the indigenous knowledge for us to move ahead? Kwa sababu if we move ahead with the concept that wale wazee hawajui anything, manzi tutakuwa tumeuma nje. Let me go to the slide that carries the agenda of the day and see if we can have a grasp of maybe what I'm talking about. When we are talking about climate change, what we are doing in the department, in the unit which I lead, is that we want to build resilience to the community. We want to help people adapt to climate change, and we want to mitigate climate change. When you talk about mitigate climate change, and I'll explain, giving examples of what we need to do, the actions. Ndio muone, miti is just a component. Planting trees is just a component. You see how broad this discussion is and what we need to do. Now, when we talk about mitigation, we are talking about basically reducing the effects of greenhouse gases in the environment. So when we talk about mitigation, tunataka we stop. Sasa mungekuwa Kikuyu wote ningetumia jina mzuri ya Kikuyu. Lakini sasa our facilitator kwa wapi ameenda lunch. Atakuwa on my neck asking me, what did you mean? And then I wouldn't want to circle back to that discussion. So every measure that reduces the factors that lead to climate change, that purely is mitigation. So we have to reduce the much emissions that we have from our farms, from our vehicles, from buildings kama hii. Have you heard about, acha nianzie na ng'ombe. Have you heard about the cattle being, accelerating greenhouse gases? Have you heard about that discussion? Have you heard about the discussion where people contributing to greenhouse gases kwa sababu ya kukua wengi? Let me explain for a moment. When population grows, that means the number of people breathing in air and out wanaongezeka. There was a study that was proposed in a country that I won't mention, that what if we measured the amount of the carbon dioxide that we exhale through the mouth or other means, then it would shock us because of the amount of carbon dioxide that we're exhaling. And we all know carbon dioxide is a component that leads to greenhouse gas. It's a component of greenhouse gases, right? So even high population already is leading to global warming, is leading to climate change in one way or the other. Mi sijasema msipate watoto, and I cannot have that discussion with you. No, even my community, juu hata mimi nikipewa chance 12 nitawekelea. But I want to challenge you to have a conception that every decision you make affects the borrowed time we are talking about. So for them that highly depend on their vehicles, kama sisi wote, si tukikuja Egerton lazima tutumie gari. Isipokuwa yenye wanaletwa na chopa kama SecGen pale. Others, sisi tunatumia magari, boda boda, and then we get to areas. Carbon sequestration, these are areas zenye activities that we should focus on. When we talk about sustainable transport, we are talking about not necessarily electric vehicles alone, even non-motorized transport. Ndio SecGen ametoka lunch. Even we are talking about sustainable transport means including kutembea, cycling. How many of us cycle here in campus? Yeah, just a few of us. Wengine watumia bike huku. Kuna bike ndani? I really hope we don't have. Higher carbon sequestration. This is where the trees come in. Carbon sequestration. But trees, remember, you can plant trees for the purpose of providing food in adaptation and also for carbon sequestration in mitigation. I'm going to get to adaptation. Then clean energy. This is the move beyond the traditional forms of heating, cooling, and to cleaner solutions. And when you're talking about renewable energy, the poverty index must be there. And that is why the SDG one is very important. Because we cannot tell people not to use. Let me approach it from a different perspective. You cannot go to a person who is earning less than 10,000 a month and then you want them to start using LPG gas. Na humpelekea hiyo gas na huwa utamrefilia. That person hiyo wakati gas itaisha, he or she will resort back to zile kuni amezoea, ile makaa amezoea, right or not? So we are talking about thinking of ways that will bring a solution to the community. Now I'm bringing this from a perspective where I'm challenging you, as I challenge myself, to have solutions that deal with the problems that we are facing, rather than advocating for changes without a solution. Because part of advocacy is advocacy with solutions. Otherwise, hiyo ingine tuachie NTV na Kameme na hao wengine, because their work is only to give information. What we want to do is capacity build our community. Are we together? So when you're talking about capacity building, we want to introduce the component of, instead of using firewood, you can use maybe LPG gas, or you can use maybe biogas, and this is how you can go about it. This Rua representative with us here, Mr. Kamau, told us, other than investing in maybe agricultural practices that maybe zitatuchoma, we could think about fish farming. That is a way of kukwambia, you need to move to a better way of getting your livelihood. But he's also showing you where do you get this source of livelihood. That's what I'm talking about. Let our awareness creation activities not just be an activity ya mimi naomba tufanye hivi na hivi. Hiyo tufanye kanisani. When we come here, we want to demonstrate with actions, with solutions on what we can do. So I'm challenging the leadership of the universities represented here. Can we go and mobilize for land that we can start using, what do we call them? Spaces that we can start demonstrating what solutions we can give to the community. And then I would like to hear that old mzee who lives across the road, akitaka kuingia Egerton ili aone how the black soldier flies are doing. Ajione, si umwambie zinafanyanga, mzae zinafanyanga hivi, ukiziweka hata unaweza pea chakula kwa kuku. Kuja umuonyeshe kuku ambazo zimelishwa na those black soldier flies. Show him how he can get about it. Once huyo mtu ameelewa na ameona, I can tell you one thing that is uniting Kenyans. Tunataka kwenda mahali pesa inaingia. So they are going to change their perspectives hiyo siku. That brings another concern that was raised by the panelists here. Some personal goals ndio zitakusukuma uingie kwa environmental club fulani. Because of the perks that you're going to get there. Ndio sekjen akipanga mikutano hapa kule, utaingia hapo na atakubeba. Remember, that is just a component. Can you find a way, can we all find a way, nimejiweka hapo, can we all find a way of bringing the thought, what am I bringing on board? And that will keep us awake at night. Trust you me, that one will keep us awake at night. Let me, energy efficiency. Saa zile hutumii stima, saa zile hutumii power. I think those are the issues. Let me go to this point. Adaptation, we are talking about reducing the negative impacts. So adaptation, when you hear about adaptation, na uzuri ya campus, hakuna kucopy notes word for word, si ndio? Ukisha get the concept, you're good to go. Ukisikia adaptation kuanzia leo mpaka kwa exam yenye inakuja, just know you are dealing with solutions that will help you ukue, you are better off hata kama climate change iko. Unaona? So kama kuna jua, what do? Maybe you take water, that's adaptation. So if the normal agricultural practices are not functioning, if we go to other practices, that is adaptation. So just base your thinking around that area, and I think you're going to be safe. Hizi zote ni vitu tuko nazo. Let me dwell here. The how. Because hapa ndio county government pengine hapa inaonekana ya haifanyi kazi, but I want to introduce to you what we are doing and maybe challenge us all to work together in the spirit of partnership. When we are talking about the how, remember we are having a discussion currently where we want to finance locally led climate actions. That means, itakuja tu niwaambie, hapa iko shida Njoro, this is the problem that you are having. Now I need you, nyinyi muende kwa vijiji, you think about a solution that will come and address those challenges. The fund is there, the opportunity is there, and I'm also challenging you through the leadership of the students associations who are represented here. Indigenous knowledge. Mr. Kamau might know something that you don't know. So it's an opportunity for Mr. Kamau to speak his or her mind about what he thinks that could be a solution. Then you come on board giving a scientific approach to it on how to get it. These committees are comprised by the following 12 people. Number 1, you have to have a male and a female aged between 18 na kwenda mpaka yule mzee unaweza pata. Hiyo si tumeelewa? Then you have to have a female of the same, because mambo ya gender, which Mr. Kamau also mentioned, have to be key in these discussions. You have to have one PWD who is a male and one PWD who is a female. Age not limited. You have to have one minority or special, what do you call it? Special needs category. One male, one female, age not an issue. Then you have to have a youth who is between 18 and 35 years, strictly, who is a male and also a female. How many wangapi so far? Are they 6 or 8? Are they 6? Then you have to have the ward administrator of your respective ward. So, you lazima mjue ward admin wenu. Mr. Kamau, I want to echo his words again. He talked about we work with the chiefs who are around us. Now, the ward administrator I'm adding to the list. The ward admin, yeye ndiye governor mashinani. So you have to work with them to get to. The environment or climate change officer, every sub-county akona yeye. So you have to know who is your environment, and I'm challenging you. Whether you come from Garissa or you come from wherever you come from, go to your ward, jua who is your environment officer, get to know what they are doing on the ground and where you can come on board. This term goes for only 5 years, so after wametoka, another committee itatengenezwa na kazi itaendelea. We have one representative mwenye anasimamia CBOs, an umbrella body. So that is another person. And then we have one person from the relevant sector, age and gender not disclosed, that addresses, how ni wangapi? That addresses issues to do with environmental conservation. How many are those? Haya, ni sawa, ninja, mimi nawaelewa. Activities that we are doing, I know tree planting, I told you is just a component. So tree planting, mimi najua mmekuwa mkitusaidia, and there's no question about that. Advocacy and awareness, remember I told you that advocacy and awareness is being done every day. Actually, whatever we're doing here, this is advocacy and awareness. I'm sure there will be a report that will be handed to a desk somewhere, noting that we did this, we discussed about this, and these are our findings. And including, I'm extending that report ifikie our CEC. Let him know what is happening. Let him know exactly what are our thoughts in the climate space. Then the cleanup drives as form of sensitization. So when we talk about the cleanup drives, we want to talk about changing the ways that initially we felt they are not okay or should not be the case, and coming up with solutions that will address maybe the challenges or address the avenues we are currently using. For instance, I want to highlight one of the things in this space right here. We are depending on the artificial lighting, yet this platform gives us a very nice space for artificial lighting. So if we have engineers in the house, when we are doing a concept or a drawing or when we have an idea, the idea is to have the idea from a perspective where we reduce maybe the energy we use, or we create efficiency of every activity that we are doing. So that is one of the examples of cleaning up every drive that has been contaminated. Tuone, how can we move forward as a county? How can we move forward as a people to sustainable living, to sustainable practices, and therefore achieving our goals? Waste management and recycling innovations. I was in Naivasha this week on Tuesday, I was in Naivasha. And the amount of, actually I have photos, but I don't know whether I'll be able to. There are people who we call waste reclaimers. Okay. Ni wenye tunaitanga chokora. Aki nimeavoid kutumia hiyo jina, but wacha itoke ndio ni explain the point. These people wanakuanga kwa dump site. I understand in their bank account, they are 10. They started last year. They have saved 300,000 in their bank. Na hii ni kando na ile mapato wanapata ya kila siku yenye these are savings. Then each person akona nguruwe sijui analisha mahali. I just got that scant information. Nijaribu kuwauliza on average per month wana earn ngapi? Wakasema ni kama wakale, they don't count the much they have. Na mimi nikajua wamecheza kama wao. But that is okay. The idea nataka tuelewe ni they are making noise to the county government that takataka yote inakuwa recycled huko before ifike kwa dump site. Si tunawaambia that is what we want. So the challenge now comes in. They want something that will bring income to them. So wanasema takataka ni mali. That's what the project they are doing. So you'll find these people as dirty as you can imagine, but I was made to understand ukipatana na nao kama wametokelezea. Mpatane kwenye mnapatananga hapo jioni ama Sunday afternoon. You won't even tell them that they work in a dump site. So they were saying plastics zimeisha, glasses, cartons zimeisha, zenye zinafika ni zenye ni chafu and everything. So they are introducing a component, the BSF component. They want to take organic waste from our markets, which comprises of 72% of the total waste, and use it within the dump site to make organic fertilizer, rear the black soldier flies, and maybe start poultry farming where they feed from the larva and they use the manure in their farms while they package their products. Sasa hawa ni watu wenye already they have the solution. It's only the means that is the problem. That is one scenario. I was in NetSuite last week. My work actually is based, for climate change, is based in Njoro sub-county and Molo sub-county, but I'm situated in the headquarters. So I was in NetSuite. NetSuite, they want to do a riverine restoration, which is one of the key areas that I'm so much interested in. And they just don't want to do in the riparian community. That's what I've done to the community. Where am I benefiting from all this? So they are introducing the component of bamboo farming. They do bamboo furniture. They supply to all institutions in Nakuru. Are these people smart or what? Alafu sasa sisi tuko hapa, we are only disseminating the information. Climate change began in, ulisema ni wakati wa Enoch? Nani alikuwa pastor hapa? Climate change ilianzia wakati wa Nuhu, na sasa bado inaendelea na haitaacha. Then politician anakuja, politicians, and be wary of them. Bro, naomba msamaha. Kuna mahali nitakanyanga wewe. They move with the multitude. Kama mnataka gas isikuwe ikitumika Kenya, tutumie kuni hata kama ni mbaya. Haki ya nani? Politician tasimama na wewe hivyo. So you'll find that different entities have different drivers to what they want to achieve. I'm challenging us all. Can we have that component of innovation? And that is why I'm challenging. Can we lobby for space in our universities? I was asking where the arboretum is. Nikaambiwa iko mahali, I think nitapelekwa after lunch, haina shida. So in that arboretum, can we lobby for a space for innovation? Climate change, environmental innovations. If these bamboo products, before NetSuite does that, can we find a place where they can come benchmark? Unajua benchmarking, how it works? Mimi nikikuja kwako, and I'm coming to learn, I'll come and I'm going to pay you because wewe ndio ninataka maarifa kutoka kwako. Are you getting the point? So can we find the sustainability bit about it? Nimewaambia niko pia Molo. Marioshoni committee is interested in doing organic farming, one, and fruit farming. Purely, hawataki mambo ya reforestation. They want to do agroforestry. So, one of the supporters, hawakuwa jana na mkubwa wetu hapa. Among the team that came, I know SIF Kenya was here. I was supposed to be here as well, but kazi ilikuwa nyingi kwa ofisi. So SIF Kenya was here, WWF was here, and they are actually, these are 55 na zimepewa uhuru wa kufanya everything that they can do to improve activities that we do. So every committee has to with their own project as unique as it can. Na kama itawaletea kitu, they stand to benefit from the committee. It runs for 5 years, ikiisha wengine wanakuja. Utakuwa wapi next time tukiona hizo committee? Student leaders kindly take that. Actually stand, na muambie CC wetu, who is my boss, that once we have the committees, tupatieni at least Njoro, the youth positions, at least tukuwe na watu wa Njoro. Am I speaking something? So I'm just trying to open our minds. Then finally, public participation. This is something I have to address. Public participation. Wakati tunapoambiwa kuna public participation, watu wanafikirianga ni is the question, na waulize ati mnasema nini kwa sababu kwa ground hatuwafeel. I know the same question we thrown to government kwa ground hatuwafeel. And this is why we need to be in the public participation. It is the only way that we can get first-hand information. For them that are noting, who are, I think there are 3 only, we have Nakuru Climate Change Act 2021. Wameongezeka ni 4. That is the act, Climate Change Act. So we don't depend on the national act. Number 2, the national act influenced or informed the formation of our act. Kwa hivyo, kuna vitu ziko borrowed hapo for issues of proper coordination. Number 2, we have a climate change policy framework. Nakuru. Sasa siongei ya Subukia. You can get it from our website, and I'll talk about our website in a minute. Then we have climate change, Nakuru Climate Change Action Plan. Nakuru Climate Change Action Plan 2023 to 2027. It's renewed after every 5 years. So in this plan, that is where we have tunataka kuachieve hii na hii na hii na hii na hii na hii. So the plan identifies the actions. So in public participation, hapa ndio nataka kuachapa kiboko cha lawama. That is where you go and participate na mnasema, kwa hiyo 5 years mimi sijaona kitu mnafanya kwa Egerton ndani. Can we have a component of the action plan where we want to see the Egerton team, the students, the faculties being involved in activities, the action plan. We have sustainable energy access action plan again. Sustainable, tunaita SICAP. Sustainable energy access and climate plan. This one addresses all those activities that we want to do again in the next 5 years, but marrying climate change and renewable energy. You cannot differentiate between where you draw the boundary on climate change and where you draw the boundary on renewable energy. Because if we have renewable energy, lessons continue, we deal with mitigation. Sijui kama sasa ina make sense? So renewable energy brings the aspect of mitigation. Tukiingia kwa natural resources yenye nilisema it's part of our portfolio, we are dealing now with adaptation part of it. When you're talking about pollution, which is under environment component, then again we are addressing pollution, adaptation and mitigation. So we have to really be smart about this. I see another tells me lunch tunasaviwa kuku. Thank you, my brother. I will really appreciate the kuku. These are some of the products that are coming from the recycled products. I want to speak about the red roofing tiles coming from plastics, the PVC plastics. I want to talk about this glass table that is around here. Oh, nyinyi si wa Kikuyu, sorry. This one comes from the recycled glass. I wish tungekuwa na. You see, ile chupa ya glass, when crushed, and then this guy from, I think, Free Area. Yeah. So I'm talking, I don't break this one. Then you're going to bill me. When I'm smart sana. So when this glass breaks, other than ending up in the dump site, this guy goes, collects them, and then he'll color code them. Utaona kuna products zenye ziko red, kulingana na those colors of glasses that maybe were broken. So the tabletops, countertops, he has a way of doing this, and he's doing quite some commendable job. Then there is This other person anajiita Greencom. Huyu anafanya organic fertilizer. The fertilizer is packaged in gunias. Dhumu wa ng'ombe na hiyo ya kuku. And I can challenge you, in our budget we have slotted funds for such innovations. I think na kwa supplementary budget yenye imeingia saa hii, it is slotted there. So we have to have innovations that are supported by the county. So when you see maybe Nyayo Gardens there is an activity going there, maybe unasikia kuna agricultural show inakujanga mwezi wa ya huku ni mwezi wa 7 or thereabout, then you can join na uone what technologies are there. Nani anaweza niambia what is this? Yeah? Maka? Yeah? Yes. No. I can't have the engineer answer that. I know he knows the name. Yes? Yeah? Cow dung? Uko karibu, but no. Human poop. Shonde. Mai. This product is friendly to touch. Actually, yes. Kama hamkuniangi, angalia hao. This product, we have the sewage collected from the residential areas, goes to our facility in Nakuru, the sewage treatment plant. Then the solid part of it is dried up. Then it is crushed. At that point, sasa hainuki, iliacha kunuka sasa, after drying up. After it is dried up, then it is carbonized at very high temperatures that every pathogen dies during that process. Kwa hivyo nikikwambia naweza shika hapa na nishike mutura hapa, ile gedha yetu ya mutura, I can eat without maybe labda ile uchafu nilikuwa nayo, but every pathogen is gone. Then it goes under now the process of kushikanisha after the carbonization. Now wanatumia molasses. Actually, it's a very sweet smelling product because of the molasses. And then it has been seen to burn for long compared to charcoal. Okay. It has been seen to function better. That is why I'm talking about, and in the future we are coming up with an innovation hub, where we have Njoro, we have an innovation hub, and then these technologies will be open for us to go and see for ourselves. If you find yourself, na watu wa engineering wenye wanaenda pamoja na ule engineer Kamau pale, when you're going to the field visits, can you just raise a question? The SecGen, watu wewe huwezi shindwa kupanga venye watafika huko. Mimi najua ni muungwana. Panga, watu wafike huko waache wajione na waguze na wanunue. A 5 kg bag goes for only 200 shillings and it will outdo the normal makaa. But since the product is not well known, that is why it will not do what? Not be well received. Our role, basically, awareness creation, public education, activate actions like what I'm doing. I'm just showing you the way. It's upon you to take the actions and move forward. We cannot do it all, although we have partners who work with us. And then encourage public engagements. So I mentioned earlier, we are in the process of updating our website. Ukiangalia website yetu, ukiingia, it doesn't have so much information on what we are doing. So we have taken it, and the discussions began this morning. I actually was meeting the director ICT this morning in our offices. Na hapo ndio tulianza kupanga maneno on how we are going to package the information. Wenye wa cartoon tuweke cartoon, wenye wa kudance tunaweka dance na tunaweka information huko ndani. So I want to support my brother who was saying that if you can do a dance yet convey some information, that is very much welcome. Then we are going to do website modules that will accommodate environment and what they are doing. agriculture, I mean not agriculture, but climate change, what we are doing. So that if you want to learn about anything, you can also get to us as easy and as simply as you can. See that iko sawa? So that is one of the ways we want to really work on and ensure that we get public participation. Lakini sasa kuna mambo nimewaambia. I want to circle back to the use of briquettes, the one from human poop. One of the things making the adoption of these technologies to be very low is point number, okay, let me just start with point number 1, climate vulnerability. The vulnerability of people in Lare, wangapi wamekuwa Lare? I was there just the other day, last week. Okay. Sasa shida ya kukua Egerton, hao wote ni mabonta hao. Who comes from Subukia, huko milimani huko juu? Kwani umetoka wapi nyinyi? Haya, she comes from Samburu. Who comes from Nakuru East? Especially the CBD part. Kaimure yako. Oh, Njoro. Oh, who comes from Njoro? Haya, Njoro specific, that is Njoro ward. Haya, in Njoro ward, the climate vulnerability for them might not be the same na kama wale ambao wako, wacha niende Mount Narok. In Mount Narok, have you noted anything about Mount Narok? Mumeka hapa baba. It's called one. Na mifuko yao iko aje in terms ya pesa? Kuliko hapa. Can I explain why that is the case yet nyinyi ndio mmekaribia town? The mashambas there, very nice, ikifika ni mambo ya farming, si ndio? The carrots zenye zinatoka huko. Actually somebody challenged me, my driver. Tukitoka huko, akaniambia, "Hebu angalia zile Nissan zinaenda Njoro. Uniambie kama utaona Nissan mzee ama imechapa." Na ukiangalia Nissan ka box mpya. Ukiangalia the lorries that are transporting products from that area kukuja huku, ni lorries zimejiweza na zenye ziko hapa. Ikigurumisho inatoa moshi yenye inafanya. Akwapi yule wa nini, uongeze hiyo concept kwa spoken word yako. Mpaka magari zetu zinachangia tukue weusi. Na ni uturumire we. So, you see that everything that happens in Mount Narok, comparing them with Njoro, hata kama wako in the very town area, urban area, their vulnerability is high compared to them. I don't know whether you get that point. So let us move beyond what we have been reading na tufike kwa ground. So the vulnerability aspect is key. So you'll find the actions before hawa wafikie Mount Narok. Mount Narok wakipewa milioni 10 na hawa wapewa milioni 20, bado Mount Narok watakuwa mbele ya wao. That is a point. Socio-economic factors, poverty, I told you cannot introduce a solution for a poor person. And then social inequality, there are people wakisema wao ndio wenye mbuzi. Huwezi chinja mbuzi until uongee na mzee. Our director is a she, nilianzia hivyo. Tumeenda Kuresoi. Iko shida vurugu kidogo. Do you know one of the elders, heri driver wa director aende awaongeleshe, lakini si director who is a she awaongeleshe, she is a real. So director aliambia, wewe mama kaa kando. Our director, wewe mama, county director, I want to paint this picture. Wewe mama kaa kando. Kama uko na jambo la kusema, ambia yule mzee atuambi. Aambie driver aongee kuhusu technique. It is that serious. So when we talk about the inequality, this is not a hoax. Cultural barriers, cultural beliefs. Kuna wenye watasema, hata mimi najua mmesikia hiyo. Have you heard of those arguments, especially huko mashinani? Wanataka yenye imepikwa na kuni yenye kuon maduong. They'll tell you, akina facilitator hapa. And you know they are entitled. So anakuambia kuon maduong, sijui ingine wanatumia, mimi sijui. Another chairman moja akasema, unasikia ni chairman wa committee. Unajua alisema nini? Mimi naona hii climate change ni hoax. Ni chairman kabisa, amesimamia ward yake, ako na members 12 wenye ana lead, lakini yeye ndiye anasema mimi naona hii maneno ya climate change ni hoax. That is the stress we have. Climate change funding, we are receiving 128 million shortly, maybe next week or next week but one. But for them that are smart kwa mahesabu hapa, isipokuwa two of them hapa. So 125 million divide by 55 wards county. 2.2, any other figure? Can we work with 2.2? So ward moja, hey, mnajua ward moja inatoshana aje nyinyi? Njoro imeanzia wapi upande huu? Kwa highway. Haya, upande huu imeanzia Lare. Lare iko wapi? Huko Gemu huko. Alafu tunakuja kwa highway, kwa interchange, tuko Njoro bado. Tunakuja na hiyo barabara. Kwenda hadi Neswit tumepakana na Njoro wapi? Na Molo, sorry. Tunapakana na Molo wapi? Elbagon. Elbagon kwa wale wa Kikuyu kama hawa ni Warufaga. Haya. Then to that side, Mount Narok tunapakana na mwisho wa lami, which is the other county? Narok, eh? So I want you to imagine, hiyo Njoro yote, tutakuwa tumepata only like 15 million because it's 2.2 times around 6. Is that money enough to do much? Really? In one ward, kama Njoro ward, is 2.2 million enough to do hizo kazi zote? He's a water engineer. He can tell you, solarization ya borehole peke yake takes almost 5 million. Hiyo ni kuweka solar na solar panels na nini peke yake, hata hujachimba maji. Then kufanya survey na kuchimba maji is whole another animal. So with our 2.2 hata borehole moja hatuwezi weka solar. Ni mnaji kuwa. Mnanielewa lakini? Now ukisikia mtu akia nani nyinyi akisema one man inywe musikilize, because we cannot be, sijui tukuambia utoke nje kidogo, we cannot have all that population here. We get 125 million, then we get, tutakaanisha na lunch, uenda Samburu wako na half our, maybe half our population size na pia wapate the same. Usimkaribie mzee, nikaa kona machungu na nyinyi. But the point I want to drive is, we did have to stand for equitable share. That was the point. Ni sawa. Ananiambia kuku iko karibu sasa kuiva. That's okay. Climate funding. I'm told I have another session on climate funding. Wacha niwachie hiyo hapo. Then inadequate and proper community awareness creation. This is where the inadequacy is coming in. Na niliwaambia na kuletea information lakini sikuambii what is the call to action. After you getting the information, what do you do after that? See, that's another whole new topic. Because I should tell you that dumping waste is bad. But what will you do after dumping waste? That is the main question that we really need to answer ourselves. Let me, nimemaliza slide zangu, but let me mention something about evidence-based actions. I was with my brother here, Daktari. Very insightful. Kama hujaongea naye, make sure he's from Chuka. Make sure you get in touch with him. He's very insightful. They will. Interesting. So he's telling me, when we are doing climate change actions and planning, hey, hapo ndio tunakujia, and planning, the component of evidence-based activities or actions has to come in. Nasema, if you're planning to do something, you have to have evidence that supports your decision, and also supports your conclusion, and also the measures that you're bringing on board. Ukienda kwa wale watu ambao huchora nyumba, kokoto hapa, nitakwambia kwenye utafika. Ongezea ingine tu. Fika hapo, hiyo iko sawa. If we use such parameters, tungekuwa na barabara inakaa konde, nono, and all shapes will be very, very, very visible. But what they do, they use evidence. If it is 2.5, it is 2.5 and not 2.2. If you're talking about making a decision that we are going to move from using unclean dirty fuels, then we should have the evidence that brings us to the knowledge that if we use this health-wise, this is the number of percentage risks that you are going to face. This is what is going to be, what do you call it? Matokeo, acha niseme hivyo. So when we talk about evidence-based practices, he's a GIS expertise, and we really need to have such expertise, you know, playing a role in every decisions that we make, every activity that we make, so that we see if we can have solutions that are supported with what do you call them, findings. There's something I want to challenge you with. Where MC usikuje? Usikuje MC. Ngoja kidogo. Poverty index, wenye wengi Nakuru County ni between 5 to 15K. If we are to make a decision on how many people can own LPG gas, already that population is out of consideration. Hatuwezi wapelekea LPG. 5 to 15K. Hakuna pesa yenye inaweza nunua hiyo. We cannot make that. So unless we have, so them that are earning, kama our facilitator here, above 60K, you see they are only 3%. So huyu ni mtu ambaye unaweza mpelekea LPG gas na inunue, right or not? So you can see the magnitude of evidence-based practices. We have to make decisions that are, we have to find a solution for them that are earning less than 5K, and to them that are earning 36 to 45K. Hao ndio niliambiwa ndio wana survive. Hizi ndizo vitu zenye our fathers, our mothers are doing to earn a living. Farming 36% ya wote. Casual employment 29%. Own businesses, na ni ile kiosk unapatanga pale nje. All those businesses you are thinking that duka kubwa nini 22%. Students kama nyinyi wenye wana support their families 0.2%. Community work, pengine wanaenda pale kwa ile barabara mwisho wa lami wanajaza mchanga, ukipita hapo na wachia 10 bob. That's the population I'm talking about. And formal employment and so on and so forth. Nakuru East leads in reliance on clean cooking. Nakuru East and West, then Naivasha. Sisi Njoro tuko chini, rely on clean cooking. Methods of cooking, na hapa ndio nilikuwa nataka ni make my point sasa. Paraffin, we only have 0.2. As much as paraffin is so, you would think ni ya watu wenye ni poor, it is very expensive for them. Evidence-based. It is very expensive for them. Ni mafuta ataenda kununua, ama ni kuni ataendea msitu na hiyo pesa afanyie kitu ingine. That is the argument. Biogas 1%. Ni 1,000 yangu 100,000 nitachukua niweke biogas, ama ni hiyo pesa nitasomesha huyu mrembo hapa. Traditional jiko, energy saving jiko ziko kidogo, the component pia ya pesa, traditional jiko. Na 3 stone fireside 46.5 yenye tuko nazo nyumbani. It's only that tuko hapa shule na hatutaki kuonekana sisi tumetoka huko. There was this discussion on business as usual. Oh, allow me to stop there. Yes, allow me to stop there. Documents after this, because I feel, sorry? I have done the needful. Thank you so much for giving me that time to explain what to
Become a goosebumps, because that's money. As a youth, as a student of Egerton University, what have you got from the discussion? Yes, thank you. You have to stand out to be counted. I'm counting you.
I've gotten that when it comes to climate action, we need to be more practical than theoretical.
Good. He's talking of climate adaptation and mitigation. Practical. Anyone? Nyinyi side? Okay, good. Very impressive. Consider, Mr. Anthony, consider hawa watu for attachments. I'll forward their names to you.
One of the major things I've had is about the committees that are within our wards that we can be part of to ensure that we get the funds from the government. I know one of the things that youths of today we are afraid of, that we are saying we don't have funds. But today we are given a procedure on which group to form and who to be part of that group so that we can access that. That's one. Two, I've also learned that climate change is not only about forest, it's more things in it than just trees.
Thank you. Kijana wangu amesikia attachment. We. Nice one. But that is good. That is good. That is good too. Okay. DJ wetu kupeleki attachment. I asked for anachukua, anaweka. Wow. Now there is another keynote speaker of which I want to give less, okay, should I say 5 minutes? 5 to 6 minutes. Let me introduce her, please. DJ.
Anachukua, anaweka. Anachukua, anaweka. Anachukua, anaweka.
Oh, we can stand. We can. Changamke kidogo. Ai, wewe bwana. Anachukua, anaweka. Anachukua, anaweka. Thank you. Come help me out. Come help me out. One or two, come. Anaweka.
Tamu kupendwa nani, tamu nasikia, tamu kupendwa nawe. Tamu kupendwa nawe, tamu kupendwa nawe. Maneno tumeyazoea, vijineno
Gata. All right. Thank you guys. So our next speaker, I'm running so fast. Our next speaker is Winnie Barres of Bachelor's of Science, degree in Community Development and Environment. Currently Vice Chairperson Gemma JKUAT Environmental Management Association, the organizing secretary QESA. You have 6 minutes, Mr. Baringo. Miss Baringo, sorry.
Sisi ni wale tuliosaidiwa na Mungu. Sisi ni wale tuliobarikiwa.
Hello everyone. Hi. I'm Winnie, yes, as the MC aside Barongo. And I love the environment, not because it is supposed to be loved, Lord, not supposed that it gives us what we need. It's because of like passion that comes with it and what does it take to do that. And so I was to present on biodiversity conservation and ecosystem restoration. In this world where everyone is trying to meet their needs and the needs are so unlimited with the limited resources that are available, and we tend not to take the issue of conservation and restoration in mind. Like, what do you do? Like, everyone wants to own a car. Everyone wants to own that big building. That's like that kind of lifestyle that everyone needs. But then, do you have the issue? Like, have you had the idea or the ideology of conservation in mind? Have you taken like Mother Nature to be the person that gives you that, but then you have to give back? It's a two-way thing. It's a mutual thing. Like, if you do the right thing, then it means that also Mother Nature is going to appreciate you in another way. So the biodiversity or the biodiversity, it all involves like all the things. Like, this is a diverse place. The trees, animals, the human beings, the buildings, the roads,